there. Dr. Rajan, I'll give you the last word. One of the big ongoing debates in the country, it's election season, is around electoral bonds. The book does deal with that question. You're not a fan. Arun Jaitley, whom you once worked closely with, argued passionately that of all bad options of how to fund politics, this was the least bad one. The issue is now before the Supreme Court. Just a final word on why that's so important, why you felt it important enough to put it in your book, and where you stand on that. We now know from other accounts that Urjit Patel, who was RBI governor before you, was vociferously opposed to bonds. We have some of that now in the public domain. This issue of electoral bonds, I'll give you the last word on that, Dr. Rajan.
Well, I think it creates an unlevel playing field because it gives a legitimate route for those who have access to business funds. And most of what is going into electoral bonds is business funds. So governments in power get that access very easily. It is not clear whether the opposition has as equal access. But what is most worrying about these electoral bonds is we have no idea what promises were made. So do the businesses that are putting in the money expect to get a quid pro quo? In a democracy, we should know who's giving money to which party, and then we can monitor the party's policies to see whether it's favoring the people who put the money in. So now we have not only an unequal playing field, we have a non-transparent playing field. The last problem, which I think is very pernicious, is if one party, the incumbent party, has access to legitimate funds, while the others don't, then it's also very easy to use the instruments of government to attack those who don't. And when they're using black money, et cetera, to hang them out to dry, saying, "Oh, you are corrupt, you're this, that." But you've essentially narrowed their ability to fight elections by ensuring all the legitimate money goes to incumbents. So this is essentially creating a very unequal political system. We've written about it in great detail in the book. It's important that we look at it because we already have enormous powers for incumbents in this country. To add to that with a electoral bond system, which typically goes to incumbent governments rather than the opposition, I think is to entrench in incumbency. That's the last thing you want in a democracy.
And again, Barkha, this is independent of who is in power, right? Just as a system, like whoever is in power will have a natural advantage if it's not transparent, if the list is not is public.